but today I'm going to record off of another program. And I'm hoping, though, should be picking up my mic sound. Yeah, it looks like it's picking up my mic. Hopefully it has, um, I'm hoping that it's going to be okay with the mic on my other end. But yeah, so it's recording someplace else. That way we have that recorded. Sorry about that. Sorry about the late start, but welcome everybody. So if it looks like bad right here, I know it has to do with the recent update. It's probably going to get fixed pretty quickly on Telegram side. They usually do. Um, but the recording will be clear because I'm looking at the recording. The recording looks great. Um, so the recording portion should be just fine. So today what I want to talk about is masterboards. Now we talked about this before, and like I said, we're going to have some prompts that are going to be similar or the same, and then the rest of the prompts will be newer things. Plus we're also focusing on a different subject this time. So last time we had this challenge, it was spring, and if you weren't here, just so you know, we did do like a masterboard like this. And what a masterboard really is just a basic it can be considered an inspiration board or a piece of something that you make, like a big board like this. It's kind of like a collage. It can be a collage, it can be a collection. You can do it any way that you really want to. And it is a board in which other things come from, whether it creates inspiration for you or whether it is made to cut it apart and use it for something else, or just to have fun and put it aside. So some of the things that a lot of people will do with the Masterboard is they will use it and file them away, and then when you're not sure what you want to do, you can pull it out either as inspiration or to use it as parts for another project. One fun thing to do is if you make it big enough, you can do it on, you can make it your cover for your book. You can do all kinds of things. It's also like a fun way to experiment and do other things. If you want to try out a new technique or whatever, there's no right or wrong way to do these, which is the really great part. This one happened to be that I had a paper that I made, a paper set that I made, and I used all my scraps and bits and pieces off of that paper that I had left over from another project that I was doing. I have like some book pieces in here, little bits from books put in here, other rub-ons, and you know, there's like little torn areas where I didn't have quite enough because you see this is like a little torn piece off of something else. There are stamps along this area and squiggle marks from a marker that I was using. I painted and sprayed some stuff on it just to play with them. That was really fun. There was this little print from another thing that I used once, and so I cut him out and put him on here. Other little extra cuts. There's all kinds of different ways to do this, and the more you go back and check on the prompt, I'll keep adding more pictures of different masterboards. I think this is the picture that's on there right now. Um, but there'll be all kinds of other ones. Yeah, the other thing is like it's flipping my video. So just know, at least on the recording, so there we go. On the recording, it will not be flipped. We'll be able to see this a lot better. And then also in the prompt for today, I updated with a list of ideas that you could use for your masterboard as well. I'll show you what I grabbed for today. So if you want, just grab even like this was on just a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper, but you can go ahead and grab a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. You can grab a big sheet of construction paper. It doesn't matter. I saw Cheryl had like a big piece of like, it looked like packing paper right now. So, I mean, it can be really anything. You just want something to start off with. I just happened to pass by the sheets of cardstock and I was like, oh, let me just grab that one. I don't like to pre-plan like what I'm going to do on this one because that's not the way that they really work. Why does it seem like my camera keeps slipping? Let me tighten it up a little. There we go. It's a little better. There. Okay. Sorry. It's California. We've had a lot of earthquakes and like all my stuff is like moved around like just a little bit. Like I'll walk around and notice things are like shifted because we've been having a lot of earthquakes lately. It's been really fun. So, I mean, I have like a bunch of torn scraps from yesterday, so I'll be using that. I always have like little pieces of torn things, scraps of stuff. I have these waxes that I've been wanting to just play with for a little bit. I grabbed these stamps just because it is, you know, fall and nature inspired, and these are just things that I think of that you see out in nature and all of that. Again, you guys have heard it like about a million times now that I moved, and where I moved to, it's definitely a lot more nature here. So that's really fun. Like I said, I don't have any dried anything outside yet because everything keeps, what do you call it? Everything keeps growing. It won't like, it hasn't stopped growing here. Flowers, everything have been coming out, but this is a really great time to use all those things. And I have a small pile. My mom gave me some stamps yesterday. So I have some stamps from envelopes, which are harder to come by because people don't mail things anymore. But got some stamps to play with, a sheet of paper that I found on the floor that must have dropped, so I grabbed that, a few little embellishments that I have from another project that are kind of left over. My desk has like these cute little Halloween tickets and stuff like that. So you can theme yours however you want. I figured mine was going to be a little naturey. I have some more of these, plus I have some like dried flowers and stuff that my mom let me use that she doesn't know she's probably not going to get back. Oh, and then she has this whole bag of them. Look. So whole bag of nice dried stuff. So let's play with these and see what we can make. Does anybody have any questions? Has anybody ever made a Masterboard before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I made a Masterboard.
Well, yeah, and if you were here before, everybody makes them different. There's all kinds of different ways. Like I said, there's no real right or wrong way to making one. You just make it. You can use things like glues and all of that. You have a few started, Sonia? Yeah, I'm reading off also just comments just so you guys know. Okay, so let me get that. I'm going to pull out some of this. So I like starting just gluing things down. If you have anything to glue down, I usually just grab some glue. Sometimes I'll, why does this keep moving? Sorry, I don't like when things keep moving. There, okay. It was just me. It's all new to you, Paula. Yeah, and a Masterboard, just think of it just as a nice way to sit and do things. I made a Masterboard and used tags and pockets in a journal. Very cool, Amy. Oh, I need to declog this little guy. Oh, and for those of you that have pre-ordered the cauldron, just reminded me, those of you that have pre-ordered the cauldron, most of them are already done. So be on the lookout for an email to kind of choose your cauldron. Because remember, like I said, you guys are able, unless you just want to be surprised. Most of the cauldrons came out very similar to this one, though. I will tell you that, where it's a little bit of a bluey base, but the bubbles are a little bit more multicolored. So you guys got the cooler ones. We'll tell you that. So I'm just like gluing stuff down just so I can see what it looks like as it sticks. Now I know these flowers are like really dried, so they might break apart on me. For Masterboards, if you want to, it's up to you if you want to like coat them after with a sealer or anything like that, depending on what you put on them, but it's not 100, it's not totally necessary unless you're going to be using it where you're going to be writing on a lot or something like that, so you might want to put something down then. If you want to prep it, if you're going to paint on the paper or something like that, you might want to cover it in gesso, and gesso is kind of just like it's sort of like a primer, which is really fun. It just helps to get things to stick a little bit differently. So just know though, if you put gesso on paper, it's going to seal it as well a bit, which means that it's going to not allow things to soak in. So if you're wanting like a watercolor wash type of thing, where it kind of like bleeds into the background, it will create a coating and it's going to sit on top instead, but it will also make things more vibrant when you put things like gesso down. And gesso comes in different colors and thicknesses as well. So like I use like a clear gesso. I've also used a white gesso. I haven't tried a black gesso. I do want to use a black gesso. I'm thinking that might be really cool for bright colors, but this one's just a clear one that I got from Finnavar. I mean, they come in all kinds of different ways. The only thing I can tell you is I don't like this container. It is always leaking into the cap and then the cap leaks out. But it's just a clear gesso. It feels almost, when you get them, they have almost a little bit of a sandy texture. What's the cauldron all about? The cauldron is a glue holder that we have been waiting to release since last year, and it took us forever to release it because we got, which it was more like somebody made it for me. I mean, not somebody, my brother made it for me, and sorry, I know I get like squirrely. What do I seal it with? You can seal it with different things. You can seal it with more Mod Podge. The only thing is Mod Podge tends to be sticky and it takes a little while to like completely seal. If you could do like a spray sealer. There's a Mod Podge spray sealer. Those are like the easiest. If you can also use like triple thick if you want to make it super shiny. There's all kinds of different paper sealers that you can actually use. A lot of them you can find like in the art section. But yeah, so it just depends on what you're covering it with. So that's going to be the big thing. I haven't recharged it. It's rechargeable, by the way. but I'm gonna put it on here just real quick. It's gonna get all nice and glowy. But this is why it's really cool. It's because it lights up, and right now it's like on my voice. So I'll show you after too what I'm gonna seal it with. We'll probably end up sealing a little bit of this because of the flowers. I think I'm gonna use my triple thick because I kind of want to make it shiny and see how it looks for a cover. Uh, but yeah, so we made it last year. My brother made me one, which is different. Um, this was the original, sorry, because I keep like all kinds of stuff in mine. So this was the original one that my brother made me, but it has like a battery pack, little simple lights that he had put in there. And it has like a little tray, so it looked really cute, but it holds my glue. It holds like a little spatula to spread my glue out with. You see mine's covered in glue. Um, and it holds a little pin, which mine I took out because I was doing something with it, but it holds a pin to unclog. This one was different because this one was made weird. Yeah, he made this one weird so the pin sticks up. The pin actually falls in on this. My brain's tired right now. Oh, I'm putting it in the wrong place. I'm like, why am I not seeing my hole? There it is. It holds a pin. It comes with like a little star pin. Um, but yeah, so people saw it and they're like, oh, I want one. And so we were like, well, we can make some. But then we launched our book cover ultimate guide tool, and like we didn't have time to make it. So now we made it. It is ready to go. It's only for pre-order. Basically, you order it. It'll say like it's out of stock, but it's just so that we can keep control because it takes a long time to make because it's completely handmade. Like so, it's printed. The parts are printed, but it has to be put together by hand on my website. So if you go back to the website, go to the shop. It's like the first thing on there right now. Like I said, it tells you that it's out of stock, but you have to order it that way as a pre-order so that we're able to do that. The bottom part of it right here, this is the little tray on the bottom that you can put this on, that it just sits like that right in the tray. But this has a silicone middle. I know it's hard to see on this terrible thing if you can't see it, but there's a little silicone disc in here. You can clean it off or whatever. It's for two purposes or multi-purposes. One, like if for some reason you accidentally leave the cap off your glue and it drips through, there's actually a hole that goes all the way down and it can drip in here. Same thing, like if you have a ton of glue and this drips down, it'll drip down there. Yeah, and then, but you can also use it, like I've used it a million times already. I poured a ton of glue on it and or paint on it. I've done all of that so that that way if I just need to get big gobs of glue at once, I can just keep doing this. I've used it for wax seals to pour my wax seal stuff on top of it and use my stamp when I want to make individual little wax seals. So it takes like hot wax, all kinds of stuff. You could use it as a drip pan for your hot glue gun. Uh, you can use it, I mean, for anything really that you need like a silicone base that washes off easy. And it works really well because I use it, you know, to hold my brush while I'm using it as well, just like that. So it doesn't stick to anything. And then it comes with a silicone brush. Yeah, so it comes with a silicone brush. It comes with the cauldron. It comes with a two little star pins like this, one in blue and one in yellow. Those go in a little hole right here, so you can keep it in there. And it's super cute because it has little claw feet and little handles. And you guys are going to get even the better one because your handles move. Mine don't move. And this go in here. And then it lights up. So that's the cool part. And not only does it light up, but it's actually rechargeable. It comes with a remote. Why is that remote moved? Oh, here, remote. It comes with a remote so you can change the colors and everything. And there's an app you can download. When you get yours, you're going to see a little bar on the bottom right here. So you can download the app and be able to, I'm just turning it off for a second so it finishes charging. But so that you can even make more cool stuff with it. I just don't have it on right now just because with already the craziness of the aura thing that's happening, it's really going to make everything look funny. But yeah, you can like program how the bubbles light up. You can change the colors of the bubbles and everything. You can kind of see the holes right here. That's actually a microphone. So that's why when I was talking, it was moving. When I wasn't talking, it would stop. Because you can also have it on that mode where whatever it hears, like music or you talking, it will hear that and it will move the bubbles and everything. And don't worry, it doesn't store anything or not listening to you. I wouldn't even know how to do that even if I could. And I really don't care what you're saying. In your private home. But no, it's like, yeah, it doesn't store anything or anything like that too. So you're safe that way too. Somebody had asked that once and I'm like, no, I don't got time to do that. But yeah, it's really fun. Plus there's actually, which we kind of revealed it the other day, there's actually, if you go in here as well, you pull this out. This is actually a connector for other things that we'll be putting out, but you can also connect it to lights and stuff like that. So if you want to make like your whole desk area just super cute, because he has to finish on mine after, but you can connect lights and this is like your power source. So like the battery that's in here can actually power a bunch of lights around your desk and make it really cute. But also we're going to be making little accessories that you can like kind of daisy chain to it, which is really fun. So like I can't wait to finish like playing with it some more too. It's really cool. All right, I'm pulling off some of those guys because my glue dried a little there. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. And it's just fun. But yeah, people have been waiting for it. A lot of people pre-ordered it. It's there's a whole bunch of them made. He's just assembling them. I said it's because they're hand assembled. We were able to get we 3D print the parts, and then my brother assembles all the electronics and stuff. The one good thing was he was able to get a company to make at least the circuit board that's programmed inside of it. It's like a whole little mini computer in there of stuff that it can do. Plus he if he can do it, and I'm pretty sure he can, and if it comes out to be a good price, he finally let me say it. If he can make it a good price, if you want it to, you can also convert it or use it as both things as a glue holder, and or like if you want to like off season or whatever, there's a little thing that you can. He's gonna make sure 100%. So don't quote me 100%. This is gonna happen yet, but a little thing that you can drop in there to make it a an atomizer, I guess you can say, or a scent. What do you call them? To put oils in and make it scented and with the mist.
A diffuser.
Yes, a diffuser. Thank you. So yeah, so you can use it for all kinds of stuff, and it's really fun. And it's up to you if if you want to use it all year long or you're just going to use it seasonally. But for me, I'll be using it all year long. Many people that I know will be using it all year long. Woo, okay. So I got that corner full of flowers because yeah, these flowers, if I don't do something with them, are likely going to fall off. So I do know that. So I'm just going to put those ones on there for right now. And then I want to get in here with some more strips. Now I switched up using it to the 3-in-1 just because it's a little more flexible and it's going to grab these flowers in a different way. To me, I'm thinking it's going to soak it in a little bit more and it's going to become part of the flower a little bit more than the, this one is the art glitter glue. It should hold it just a little bit better. Oh, and gesso can kind of be used as a glue. It will work a little bit to kind of help pull things in. And I'm going to use different things so you can kind of see how they act. Yeah, see, this is why I don't like this bottle. I need to see if I can switch it like to a jar or something. Like it's got a good size hole in it, but because this is so liquidy, it just falls everywhere. And you can use a regular brush to paint this on. It just happens to be that I have this right here right now, so I'm just going to use it. You can also use gesso as a very light dimensional paste. It won't be like super thick, but you can mix other things into it. You can add some like talcum powder or some cornstarch into it, make it thicker if you want to make it more of a texture paste. But it isn't really meant to be for that. And you might as well just go buy texture paste. It doesn't cost too much difference. But I'm going to put the gesso right here just so you guys can kind of see. You can kind of use it like a glue, but it's going to be a little different. Let's see. How weird. It's not marking off that I'm seeing stuff. There we go. So yeah, you can kind of use it like it'll hold it and all that. It does hold like light things in place as well. Like this one has a fall picture on the stamp. I'm gonna see if I can get the stamp off. If I can't, I'm just gonna cut it out and use it that way. I know if I were to steam it or soak it, I could probably get it off easier. Let's see. Yeah, that's coming up. Shelly, you gotta get into for Cheryl T into the practice of showing what you're working on, like facing your camera down at your desk. There. If you guys haven't seen some of Cheryl's work, it's really awesome, guys. It's really awesome. I think your voice is breaking up. Like I said, you guys don't be afraid to show what you're working on. If you're like on a phone and you want to show what you're working on, you don't need like any fancy equipment or anything. I literally used to just get a box, like a big box, and like work inside of the box with a big hole at the top. That used to work pretty well. Ooh, this is gonna be pretty. Hold on. So remember, your Masterboard, again, can be something that just kind of gives you inspiration. It can be something that you want to use to do other things. So today, basically, you'd just be working on your Masterboard. And I always end up with stuff all over my fingers, so don't worry about it. There's always a lot. You see, the gesso will sit on here a bit. I said it works a little bit like a glue, but it's a very light hold, so it has to be something kind of thin.
I think it's easier to make a Masterboard if I have like a theme of what I'm going for.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I get a mosh podge of everything.
That's good too, either one. Like I said, the whole thing is like autumn, so you wanna, maybe go with autumny colors, autumn thing. I mean, if that's not just where you're at right now, that's fine too. But everything we do is definitely gonna be more autumn inspired when we do it. When I give you examples.
My niece is getting married soon, so I'm working on a journal for her wedding.
Very cool. I think I'm gonna peel this guy back up. And I change my mind a lot, so I tend to peel things off a lot and put it back down. But I just thought about a way to keep this in here just a little bit better. Because I thought I brought Mod Podge with me when I moved. I don't think I have it. You can also use things like matte gel mediums. Was outside unpacking things. That's a fluid medium. Masking fluid. Not opening that, it's gonna stink. Embossing dabber. They're just empty. I found some things outside and I was like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, those are wires. That's pretty cool. That's not gonna work. The perfect way to use up your embossing powders too. Where's my nuts? You could use wax to seal things in. Where is that thing at? Oh, right there. That was just like a perfect pearls mist. It says it's heirloom gold, but I know it's not. It's way too green. I must have redid the bottle myself at one point. A lot of these bottles, I end up just creating new sprays from my powders and things, my pigment powders. But I wanted to play a little bit with Ken Oliver's Color Bursts. Now, these are super concentrated watercolor powders. And I mean super concentrated. Like if I just do a couple of dabs, like you're not going to see the dabs until I do a little spray, and then all of a sudden you're going to see this color go crazy everywhere. Like I said, this is a great way to experiment with things that you've been putting off for a while. You're going to barely see them. There's teeny tiny little speckles of powder hitting here. And I mean tiny speckles. Very, very fine powders. But as soon as I hit this with even a little bit of water, you're going to see them burst out all over. So I used a bunch of different colors. I forget what set this is. This is Night Sky, Jupiter, Deep Space, Solar Flare, and Terrestrial. I don't know what the collection's called. If anybody knows, let me know. All right, so you can kind of see. Let me see if I can get this a little closer up. So you can see what happens. Now this is a blue spray, but do you see that color popping all of a sudden? From the bursting colors. You can see everywhere that powder hit. It's really fun. We'll have another, one of the challenges where we go a little bit more into adding color and playing with color. And we'll use these a bit more in there. You can kind of see how it just went crazy with color, just me adding some water now to those powders, which is really fun. All right, so now, let's see if this thing dried. I don't think it did. And the good thing is that this all washes off really well because it's going to be covered in paint all the time for me. And this has, oh, not dried on me. I stored some colored paint, glue in this bottle a while back with glitter, but it looks like it's basically completely dried solid on me. So instead, I'm going to use this guy. I think I'm going to need, give me one. Better. I have a clear tacky gel glue. This one's going to be thinner. I need something thin instead of as thick as the other ones. It's still a tacky glue, so it is a thicker glue, but it's the gel version, so it's not as thick as those other guys. But I want to coat this a little. It's like goopy. Okay. I'm using it to kind of encase the little crinkled up flowers and color underneath that. All right, then yeah, because I don't have like any sealer stuff right now, so I figured I'm just gonna glue them in place right now. I don't have anything to actually like seal them in completely right now. Now, masterboards don't have to be itty bitty little pieces. You can use a whole sheet of paper if you need it to on there. But I like to kind of break it all up. Even though that was a perfectly good, a perfectly good piece of paper right there. To put in a book or something, but I wanted to use it because I have the other ones that are dyed. And I want some paper to go in here. And yeah, I make a big mess real quick. All right, we'll get this in here.
I have a dumb question. Are distress inks alcohol inks?
No, they're more of like a a pigment ink.
Oh, okay, thank
Like
you.
they're a pigment. Yeah, they're a little bit more of a pigment ink. Well, okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Distress oxides are more of a pigment ink. Um, Regular distress inks are a water-based ink. So they're more water fast and they will move on you very, very quickly. And if you ever get them re-wet again, they're going to, like the regular distress inks, if you ever get them wet again, they're going to bleed. No matter how much you dry them, it could be 10 years from now, and if you get water on them, they're going to bleed and fade if you wet them in any way.
This one won't spray, so now I'm just going to play with it.
Yeah.
Because I saw somebody do something with alcohol ink with a card, and they moved it around with the hair dryer, and it was so cool. But when I tried acrylic ink, it didn't do it. So I was like, oh, maybe that's not alcohol ink.
Yeah, and you have to have something to make the alcohol ink fluid. So once you spray or use an alcohol ink, one, you want to put it on something that is going to allow it to move around. That's why a lot of times they'll use special paper, like UPO paper. You can use photo paper. It has a little bit more of a coating to it. And
that's what she did, is a photo paper, and then on the back side, not the shiny side, and then she put alcohol down.
Yeah.
And then put the ink and blew it, and it was like a watercolor. It was beautiful. But yeah. I tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah, you
so
have to make sure. Yeah, no, it has to be alcohol inks. Alcohol inks are basically, it's alcohol with color. So it's a lot more fluid. The thing is, it dries really fast. So you have to be able to do it really quickly. And you have to, or you also have to have something that kind of reactivates it. But it can only reactivate it so much because once the alcohol in the color starts to dry up, it disappears. And you can only reactivate it like so many times. And each time you're going to lose color and you're going to lose movement the more and more you try to reactivate it. And you can do it by getting more alcohol, but Ranger does carry an alcohol like reactivator or a fluid thing. What is it? There's an alcohol. There's an alcohol blending solution that you can get. So this will help you make it more fluid and get it to move again. And the alcohol inks only come in like really tiny bottles, the ones that Ranger sells anyway. You can get them from different makers, but most bottles are kind of small.
Do you, so it'll actually say alcohol ink?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Ranger ones are like this. So they come in.
For some reason, I was thinking acrylic ink and all the inks were alcohol ink, but no. I'm wrong.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's different. Distress inks are like the ones that also come in bottles or sprays. These are Perfect Pearls mists. They're a little bit different. These have similar distress ink colors in them, but they also have mica powder in them, so they act differently. The alcohol inks are just alcohol ink, but that's why they're smaller. But they also stick to things like metals and glass and ceramics, all those different things. And then, yeah, you have to use them like certain ways, and you have to use them with certain extra additives or they're not going to move the way you're thinking. If you want to get some really good tutorials on alcohol inks, you guys, take a look at Tiffany Solario. Yeah, her name's Tiffany Solario. She has really good videos on alcohol ink. She does a lot of stuff for Ranger, but she has like really excellent ones. I don't know. I don't think she's on any design teams right now. I think she said she was taking a break, but she's been on like Tim Holt's design team a million times and a bunch of other makers. But she has really, really, really good tutorials on alcohol inks if you guys want to check those ones out. She also has some on pretty much any kind of mixed media, distressing, and really, really, really pretty stuff. Definitely follow. Distress inks, you can do something similar, but you're not going to get that same vibrant color. You will still get really pretty color though. It's just going to be a little bit slightly different type of result, and you got to make sure that your work area is surface. If you spritz your paper ahead of time with a little bit of water, it will help distribute out your distress inks.
So now you tell me. I'm over here playing like a crazy woman.
No, it depends. If you're using sprays, that's different. But try it. You can also try like wetting the area a little bit and then spraying as well, and seeing the difference on the two. Always experiment with both. See which result you like better.
Oh, that's really good. Oh.
did I put? Oh, there it is.
Let's see. I need some red.
Like, and remember, distress inks come like in a million different ways. You got the distress ink stampers, you have distress ink pens, you have the sprays, you have the refill bottles. There's so many different ways. So right now I'm just getting rid of some of the white that's in between that I wasn't gonna get in there and really color. And I'm edging up these leaves with Seedless Preserves, which is a pretty purple, a deep, deep, deep purple. Because these colors are like super bright. And I want to get this to blend in, which will also help me to tone down that really brightness that some of this created. Okay, so now, no, I think I'm gonna have to use my other one.
Can I ask? I have like a 4.5-inch spine because I wasn't thinking about it. How many signatures would you guys advise? Like 6 or 5 or?
4.5 inch. It really just depends on how
Yeah.
thick your papers are. Are you using cardstock or paper, or do you know yet?
I'm going to use cardstock mostly and watercolor paper, different type. I was thinking about once this dries, using some of this in each of the signatures.
Yeah, I mean, 4.5 inches. I mean, that's huge.
It's huge. Look.
So it's
Yeah,
probably
in a
gonna be
popcorn box. Look.
between
It's
4 and
this,
6. Yeah, you're probably gonna get between 4 and 6. You could probably even fit 8 if it's not too thick of a signature too. You're gonna
and
get
this
a
is
lot.
what I put in this inside of it. I got
Yeah.
this material at the dollar store. It's like burlap. And I saw it and I was like, ooh, I like it. But I didn't think about the spine. I was just excited that it was all together. And then I looked at it. I was like, oh, Lord, that's a big spine.
But that's good. Those are fun.
And what I tend to do, and I don't know what you guys suggest, is I was getting all my papers that I wanted to put in it, but they were like, the fancy papers that you usually use to decorate. And then I was like, oh, I'm supposed to put blank, different kind of papers in each signature and then cover the stuff with the fancy paper, right?
You can do it however you want. I just sometimes tend to create a simple base first and then I put the pretty papers. Sometimes I put the pretty paper first. It's up to you, really. As I remember, there's no super right or wrong way to do any of that. Sorry if you guys can hear my printer going off. It's working right now. And sometimes I'll work like how I did. I just kind of randomly threw stuff in the middle and see where it went. I started off like in a little corner thinking I was going to go out. I started doing another corner, but then I'll see something that distracts me and I'll go to another corner. Let's see. Like that one. This was a piece of cardboard that I turned around and it was there, so I grabbed it. It's corrugated cardboard that has some paint on it from another project.
Can you guys see this, how it's activating with water? Got some cool colors coming out. If only they would stay that way.
Oh wow, I love that.
And that came out really cool.
Yeah, like you said, the inks are reactivating with water and mixing. That's cool.
I just thought about something. Be sure to post up too after, because the only thing I just thought about is that where I'm recording this is only going to see my screen. And I'm going to have to see what's going on with Telegram after this so we can get it a little bit better in there. Now this one I was checking it now with the alcohol ink. Some tissue papers, 'cause I use tissue paper to put this over. Some tissue papers have that like really slick kind of plasticky side. I'm noticing that's what this one is doing. That's why this the alcohol ink's actually writing along it instead of soaking in really quick. And the gesso might be helping just a bit. Oh, and then after this, you guys, Christy is actually doing her weekly Twitch live stream right now, or she probably is about done now. She only usually stays on for about an hour and a half. She's recording hers as well. There'll be a link in the prompt after for her recording of her masterboard as well right now. She's actually doing one with her group. So I will add that too. And when you guys finish your masterboards, be sure to post them up in the group for everybody to see. And if you're okay with it, you can also put a note on there that it's okay to put in the prompt. If it's okay for me to like add it to the prompt for future people to see it like on another day or whatever, or to get inspiration from. So if you're okay with adding it to the prompt, just say that it's okay to add to the prompt when you post it. That goes for any of the projects. I might not be able to fit them all, but I'll put like a little gallery of everybody's, or as many as I can fit anyway, of people's examples that they did. I'm gonna hold that one for a little bit. Hey, Dave, for the sunflowery thing that you were saying, are you gonna print skull heads or you have some already? Yeah. Has only found any great deals on Prime days. The only thing I found so far is some vitamins that I take. I found it cheaper than I normally get at my Costco. That I've seen them listed anywhere for my, I take, or I should be taking, but I hadn't taken in a while because I hadn't found a good price. I don't want to get a membership to Costco just to go get them. But I take what's called Ocuvite for my macular degeneration. So I have it in one eye. I got this thing in my eye super early, really weirdly, and so it's a really good one if you have macular degeneration. I did notice a difference while taking it, or if you have, or you have like, you want to prevent it from happening, or your early days of it, I would take it. But I found it much cheaper than I've gotten in a long time because it actually had like an extra 25% off coupon. It's called Ocuvite. It's pretty cool. Especially if you have to take fish oil, it doesn't give you fishy taste. And it has a bazillion other vitamins in there too. You're going to see it because on the bottle it says for 65 plus. This is my little box of Halloween. Anything that is Halloween looking, Halloween decorish, I like to put in one place because I use it the most. Those are like my special things. So although this isn't going to be really Halloween, more fall, sometimes I have a couple fall things in here. I think I have it this time. But I haven't really looked either. I wasn't planning on getting anything. I did see like a really good pack of highlighters that I might get, but that's about it. Sunflower beds. We'll take. Yeah, I haven't really looked. Just make sure, like, before jumping at it and it says like it's a huge discount or whatever, make sure you compare it somewhere else and make sure it really is a good deal. Like the vitamins that I saw, if you get it without the 25% off, it's not a better price. It's almost exactly the same as I would get the bottle from Costco. But with the extra 25% off, it definitely came out a lot better. Because what they try to say, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll mark up the price and then mark it back down to make it look like a really good price, and it comes out just slightly different than like an everyday price. That's all I wanted. So I have an old tag, which might be a little hard to see right now. I think I'm going to do something to it because I see what the sample was supposed to be. Aside just for a second so I can adjust this tag. But basically this was, I had a class that we did nothing but distress techniques in. It's like a Tim Holtz type class, or was a Tim Holtz class, but using stamps with clear embossing powder and then like bringing out the design a little bit better. But I can see from this what was wrong. The reason I can't see it is because the color used was way too light to really see the design. So I'm going to pull that out and then use pieces from this tag on my board. There it is. Yeah. So I'm starting to get the design to pop out a little bit more. I was like, what was supposed to be on this tag? And then I felt it and I could feel the design in the background. I keep saying, I know everybody's asking about this too, about redoing this class. I do want to do this one. I love this class. One of my favorite classes I've ever taught because I have fun during the whole time. Alright. Then I'm going to need water cloth whitey. Get out of the way. So you can see it right now. You kind of see that design coming through because I added more ink to this so you can get that pop coming out from that embossed design. Like I said, when you watch the replay, you'll be able to see a little bit better. So I know we're getting that hazy bit right now. But when I go in here, now clean off the ink off the embossed part. Let's see. Now it's really starting to pop. I'm just using a wet baby wipe, which I actually had to spray cleaner on it. But you can see, Cheryl, like this was like old. This is probably like 6, 7, 8 years old. And I just got ink on it again. Like some of that green and the purple's coming off at the same time. But it blended together again from an old set.
Oh wow, that's cool though.
Yeah. So I'm wiping away the purple ink off of the embossed part that I just put. And now it's revealing that really pretty thing. I'm gonna go slow. I think if I go slow, it shows it to you a little better without that weird haze. I know other people are able to see it like perfectly, but yeah, I'm getting that funky haze, but it's not as bad. It has a really cool effect. And that's just done by, you ink up your whole tag or whatever you're using first, and then you get a clear, get a stamp with using just clear ink, which is embossing ink, which is just like a clear sticky thing. And then you get clear embossing powder and you put that on, and you heat that up, and then you go over it again with a darker color, and what will happen is that the original ink that you had underneath will show through on the clear, and it just makes a really cool effect. And then if you spritz it and stuff, the two colors will meld together just a little bit. So I'm getting a little bit of browns up here because it's purple and green. So we're getting a little bit of brown, but a little bit of that purple showing through, a little bit of that green showing through where there isn't any embossing powder. And then the rest are coming through really nicely. But I thought this would be really cool to put on my board as well. So I am going to pull off pieces because I see 2 different designs on this. There's some really cool ones on here. There's a really cool embossed little area there. One there. A nice big one here. These are really thick tags. I'm just going to go in and re-ink those edges a little. And it doesn't have to be so collagey, just so you know, like if you don't want it to be like really collagey like this, it doesn't have to be. It could be just painting, doodling all over the place. Um, Color washes, a full board of just watercoloring everywhere, Zentangling all over it or in between pieces of paper. Very cool. Cheryl, what is the white bottles that you're shaking onto your paper?
It is called Colorcraft Brusho Colors. And what it is different colors and they're pigments. So you have a hole, you poke the hole, and then you shake it on your paper, and you can have your paper wet or dry. And then if it's wet, they're gonna explode. Like I did on this one, I sprayed it first, and then on this one, I sprayed the big one. I sprayed the paper first and watched it bloom. And there's different colors, and there's like moss green, burnt sienna, rose red. So they're Color Craft Brusho. And color is spelled COLOUR, craft, one word, brusho. It's brush with an O at the end. And they're really awesome, actually. They came in a set, so you can buy different colors.
Yeah, it's like these, it's the same thing like as these Ken Olivers. They make them, I know there's Brusho, Ken Oliver, and there's another one. That's why they all have like teeny tiny holes because they're so pigmented. That's what made all this color burst mess here. The more you spray, the more they'll spread. So right now I'm adding a little of this wax on here, and they smell gorgeous. I'll tell you guys that right now. This one is the Art Alchemy by Finnabair. It's Antique Brilliance Wax. This one's a Mystic Turquoise. And it's really cool because it has like a shimmery effect, but then it has a brown undertone. So depending on what you put it on, you're going to get different color effects on it. Let me see. And Charlotte says it looks great like a giant leaf. That's the picture you posted. I can't explain the smell of it, except that it's like a very light, sweet smell. How's everybody doing so far? You guys working on it? What in the world is stuck in this box?
Sorry, Monica. Somebody, I mean Monique. Somebody, my boyfriend walked in. So, did you ask another question about the powders?
No, I was telling people that those are like the Ken Oliver ones that I was using.
Yeah, I got some other one. It says organic pigments. So if anyone is worried about, you know, how some people care if it has chemicals or whatever, this stuff is organic and doesn't have anything but organic pigments in it. That's it. So I know a lot of people care about that. So I wanted to make sure. And I got this whole set. It's lime green, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, moss green, rose red, sandstone, olive green, and terracotta. And then I know they have more, but I just got this one set just to try it. And it lasts. I've had this for like 2 years, so it really lasts a long time. And they're so fun because you can put them on and then it just bursts like you were doing.
Yeah.
Who's on my screen?
Not working on that Masterboard at the minute, but you ladies are giving me inspiration. I may have to go on a nature treasure hunt. Definitely.
Fall is my absolute favorite. All the colors we have yellow. I have to go out and collect some leaves, but we have yellow and bright red and orange, and I'm in Colorado, so we just have beautiful, and it's absolutely my favorite time because of the colors. So I'm trying to get this watercolor paper to be vibrant, and I'm just playing. I'm trying to teach myself how to play. I know that sounds weird, but I don't. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the studio and play, I end up organizing instead because I'm afraid to screw up. If that makes sense.
Totally.
But I told somebody today, she said she was stuck, and I was like, you know what? We can fix anything that goes wrong. So it's not like you can't fix it. So I have to shut up. I have to keep telling myself that. Shh, shh, shh. No.
Okay, this one definitely came out yellow. These are some of the leaf cuts that I didn't use yesterday. I think it was yesterday's. Oh, that's pretty. I'll use this for another page though. I found a tote yesterday, a little just tote that I used before I moved to my last place. And I found a few unopened boxes from that move, which was like 8 years ago. And it has stacks of papers in it. So I'm checking it out to see what's in there. Some old tags and frames, papers, buttons. Oh, that's cool. Oh. It must have been during Christmas time. It looks like maybe around Christmas time that I last used it, or at least there's some stack of Christmassy papers. I found some cuts of stuff. Let's see if we can use that. Let's see. Or this one. This one's a really cool little tag from a zipper pull. It's backwards on the screen, I know, sorry. But a while back, my mom got a bunch of jewelry stuff and craft stuff from an estate sale. And there was like all kinds of stuff in there. Some of it was really, really old, some of it was newer. Just had some cool old tags. So this one just says zipper pull, but in a nice old font. Oh, see, the color pigment is still activating because of the glue, so it's kind of mixing up in there. There's a couple of little granules that I can see that never burst, it looks like. Put that one right there. We're gonna get that one first. There it goes. I'll lightly spritz to see if there was any more that got away. You see it's still activating now, it's getting all over that zipper pull nicely. Yeah, she had her cake. We got her cake from Nothing But Cake, which is a really yummy place to get it. If you have one in your state, definitely go grab one. They're really yummy. Don't think of like traditional bun cake. It's really good. It did taste a little bit different to me than I usually get, but it was still really good. That's what I had for breakfast. They're really good. They originated in Vegas, which is where I discovered them. I actually used to shop at the original shop, and I was happy to find out that they still had them. They have them out here in California now, which is really cool. So I grabbed her one of those. And then she wanted me to make, I make a artichoke spinach dip that she really likes. So we ended up with that sort of as dinner, sort of. Because between the cake and that, it's like, you really don't want to eat anything else because it's a lot. All of us ate way more than we should have of everything, but it was good. If you want the recipe for the artichoke spinach dip, by the way, it is in the, if you hover over the freebies on the website, there is a link. It says recipes. At least it should. If it's not working again, I remember I was gonna move it and I can't remember if I put the link back in. But if not, if you go to the blog and you just type in artichoke in the search for the blog, it will bring up that recipe. And it's really yummy. All right, we're starting to close in on this guy. You don't have to fill the whole thing. And there's a lot of spots where I want to put like ink and stamps and stuff over other stuff. So I'm mostly now just trying to fill in holes where I want this to go. Actually, oh, that's out of paper. These miracles like smash down perfectly into a nice powdery dust of color. So it's like the perfect thing to fill in these bits.
Monica, I was gonna say you can put anything that I post up wherever you want.
Okay. Thank you for that. How many masterboards do you find you create per journal? Masterboards I don't make specifically for a journal. It's just kind of like some playtime. So sometimes, like I said, it's really just an inspiration board. Like I've hung on to this one for a while. And before this one, I had another one that I hung on to for a long time. Some of them are just, I leave them as is. Sometimes I use it as a cover. Sometimes I'll chop it up. It just depends on what you're going to use it for. I don't always really use them in journals, honestly. I like to just play with them. It's more like a collage, just working time for me. But if I see one that I really like, it will end up being a cover. So like, let me show you one book. See if I can find where I did it. As soon as I figure out where I put it, I will show. Because I have a disaster right now everywhere. And it is that wonderful time of the day where the sun pops right in and it's glaring everything on my glasses and I can't see. But yeah, I've used them just for covers. I've used it inside the book. Because a lot of time they'll do this directly in the book. But I said it's more inspiration than anything else for me. But you can use them. I'll use them to cut them up. There are a lot of them that I'll cut up into tags and things like that. A lot of my books are gone. A lot of the ones that I've used before are in books that I've sold, so they're gone already, unfortunately. I try to take pictures to make sure that I keep them as much as possible, but yeah. I'll put pictures in though of the book that I'm talking about and add more. Because a lot of the pictures are in the previous challenge. So again, just a reminder, you guys, if you did not do the previous challenge, you can go back and do the other one. There's only a couple of repeats that are going to be from the old challenge into this challenge, like the Masterboards, but this one's like slightly different. So the last time too, in the other challenge, Christy actually did the Masterboard with everybody. We kind of followed along with Christy. So everybody has a different style of doing things. So it's really fun to see different people doing them. And we had different examples and stuff like that with that one. This one has still more orange. And so there's samples in that one if you want to learn even more. But if you want to, you can still do the old challenge. It's open all the time, just like this one will be. And you can redo these challenges over and over again. You'll learn something different each time you go back through it. So we still have some people finishing up that other challenge. Some people that have just started that other challenge. But I will say that if you're going to go back and get that other challenge, take advantage of getting the artisan pass from the previous retreat. If you haven't seen it yet, they're sent out information on it. I'll be sending it out again. But there is a 75% off discount off of the old pass from the previous pass from the May retreat, from the Art and Junk Journal regular retreat that we had back in May. We put the pass on sale for 75% off, so you get it for like $32.25 or $33.25, something like that, and it gives you a ticket to the previous challenge in there as well. So that ticket code is still good to purchase the previous challenge. So you get the previous challenge and the previous retreat pass for only $33.25. So I would say take advantage of that guy and definitely use that. Okay. Oh, it's just a bunch of stuff. Okay, sorry. I got all these messages all of a sudden on my phone, and I'm like, why is my phone going off? Apparently, this is just a time of day that advertisers like to throw a lot of stuff out. Let's see if I can get this one to crumble up a little bit more. There's nothing like a pretty flower confetti. Instead of using glitter or regular confetti, just get some dried flowers, crumble them up. I need to go collect some of the roses that are about to die outside and dry some of those up to use them. Think of adding something like this to glue or paste, just using it as a pretty little, instead of using glitter, if you don't like glitter, or if you do, mix a little glitter in with it, a little shimmer. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the color that's happening here and what's really happening with all of this, but I'm going to try and show you. All right. See that? Really pretty confetti mix. Even with the weird glow, it looks really cool. Just, yeah, it's pretty, right? The cool thing is like the flakes are actually way more orange. So I don't know if it's showing up like good for everybody, but like they're really, really orange is mixed in there. But I know this weird haze is doing that weird thing. The replay should be able to let you guys see it a lot better. But that's what I'm doing with like all these little spots, is just doing that. Adding the glue and filling it in. The cool thing is, if you've never seen it before, out here in California, they have the Rose Parade. They always have it on New Year's Day, early in the morning. It's only that part. But after they have the Rose Parade, you can actually go out and like see all the floats. It's really fun. And I remember as a little girl, my mom took us before a couple times, I think, and you'd be able to see like how they took flower stuff like this to make different textures and tones and stuff like that, to create like faces and just completely cover a float in this mixtures. It was really cool. Sometimes it was seeds and all kinds of different things. The mix with gilding flakes would be pretty good. Yeah, definitely. Let's see how that's coming along right there. Add a little more glue to those edges. I have the foil flakes. They're kind of big. They would be cool mixed in here, but the flakes are really, really big still. Let's see. I'm gonna have like be covered in flowers today. Just kind of smash them in there. My finger's like covered on them. It's really cool because they're really pretty. Oh, I wish it would focus. I'm gonna do more of that on the other side. I think that's where I'm gonna fill in all my holes with. I think that is going to be fun. I think though instead of using this, I need to use my white glue for this. Oh, the sun is like right on me. Okay. Sorry, the sun keeps blinding me right now. Yeah, I can't see. There we go. One of the prompts that I definitely wanted to bring back was, well, actually, I don't know if it was actually a prompt. I gotta go remind myself. I don't know if it was a prompt on this or it was a session we did with the Artisan Pass, is using natural elements for painting and stuff like that. But I want to do another one for using like this to make your own confettis and stuff like that. So one of the prompts is using natural elements and spices and things like that. I'll show you how to do that. So start collecting some dried flowers and drying out some flowers and stuff. It's going to be towards I think it's the second or third week, maybe the fourth week, third or fourth week we're doing this. The cool part is after this, if you want to, go ahead and take all those seeds and go drop them in your yard. Grow some more flowers for next time. You have an endless supply of art supplies. Yeah, grow your own crafting materials. So imagine this all like mushed up into a paper. If you really get enough of these, you could actually make a full paper just made out of flowers. But it's also fun just to add them into your flower paper mix. All right, let's add in some of that red. And blue. Need a little more blue. I see you, petals. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Ouch. Just stab my own arm. Okay. Oh yeah, I got myself good. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I literally just got my own arm with my nails. Because I got a glare when I was trying to catch something. Let me go clean my arm off real quick. I'll be right back. I got it. Look what I did. Yeah, look at what I got. Okay. Just trying to find my Band-Aid. I wasn't trying to, but I couldn't see. And I reached for something and my arm was in the way. Funny. Somehow, I don't know how I did it. I don't think it's gonna bleed. Well, I mean, it bled, but my nails can be very, very sharp and ouchy. Somehow I crossed trying to catch something with this hand. I was holding something with this hand and tried to catch something with this hand and somehow ended up in my arm, which I'm not showing you because it got in there pretty good, but it's bad because when you get a scratch, I get infected sometimes because your nails can be dirty, especially after me putting my fingers through all this stuff. No, I think it'll be great. Okay, so we hit that sunlight point again. So I'm gonna move this way so you guys can kind of see what so far I've gotten on here. It's upside down right now, so that it is upside down. I moved it because I was gonna color in that other end. Come on, focus time. There you go. So really, really fun, but I'm just gonna fill in the rest of these little blank spots real quick. Oh, duh. Make this easier on myself. I don't know why I keep trying to put it on with the little thing. I'm sorry guys, the sun will pass over in a second. Just give it a minute. Yeah, you should be able to see the corner I'm working in right now. I get myself a little umbrella. Just sits right here. Something off of my thing. We're not gonna put a curtain way up there. Why? In the summer it doesn't come through there. Well, like where it would be really, really hot, so we don't really need it up there. And in the winter we want it all to come through there. It's like, you know, like the accent window that's kind of way up at the top. That's where all this glare is coming in from right now. All this bottom part that you can't see, like this area. But I'm working up in this corner, so we're okay for now. A curtain way up there would look so weird. Our windows are like at a that's why you're getting this weird triangle-y looking thing, or at an angle. It's because the roof is at an angle, so the two top windows are at an angle. And I know they make curtains that are like shades that go on windows like that, but it just looks funny to me. Yeah, I might have to just get a spray sealer for this one since I'm putting so much flower pieces on it. Or so many flower pieces on it. I know how to speak, I really do. Let's see, what other spot should I cover up? Oh, there's a little white spot right there. Has everybody decorated for Halloween yet? We're still trying to like plan it out because we have to like mix all our Halloween decorations. I'm still trying to figure out if the rest of this neighborhood is going to do anything else because they haven't done much yet. Let's move this stuff a little to the side for a sec. Make me some room up here. What been at this for about 2 hours. We had a few hiccups right at the beginning. So I'm only going to be on here for a little bit longer, show you a couple of tricks that I do once you have like everything put down. This is usually where I'll start coming in and filling in holes, which you see me doing so far, but also where I will kind of get in here with paints or more sprays, um, ink, and all of that. One of the things that I did want to do, because I saw my Heidi Swap gilding flakes, which basically just, or not gilding flakes, sorry, foil flakes. It's just gold foil flakes. Is I wanted to add a few gold foil flakes. So this is, oh, now my arm's burning. Okay. All of a sudden now I felt my arm. This is Zig 2A glue. I usually use this for re-sticking my Cricut mat. But the cool part about it is that when you allow it just to dry like that, it dries tacky, like really tacky, which is perfect for foiling flakes or gold leafing. So I'm just adding it in a few different little places that I think would be cool to add some foil to. And like these little holes to fill in. They come in different sizes. This one happens to be the really big one. Just so you know, they don't always come. This is a big one that I use for the mat, so it's easier for me to do the mat. But it's Zig 2A glue. You can find it in my Amazon shop of my favorite supplies, which is listed everywhere all the time. Basically, sometimes if I don't have like a specific plan of where I want it to go, I'll just kind of add it everywhere, let it dry, and try to remember where I put it. And go in there with some flakes or some sheets of gold leafing or gold foil, and I'll just put it on there. These Heidi Swap ones, I don't know if they, I think they still have them at like Joann's and places like that, but the flakes are kind of big in here. I was thinking they're gonna be more like kind of broken up. Really, they're just big scraps of the gold foiling. So let's start to remember where I decided to put these things.
I've been scared to use my gold foiling.
Just use it. I always tell people, just use it. There's no point saving it, hoarding it. If you need to really get more, then you'll go get more. But you just put it anywhere. And it depends like if it's real gold foiling or it's just gold foil or gold, what am I thinking? I just said it wrong. If it's gold foil, which it's just like gold colored foil, or if it's actually gold, um, it's a piece of art. So even if it is real gold and it was a little more expensive, it's a really cool keepsake. Right now I'm just shoving it everywhere that I believe I had the glue. Anybody sees a spot I miss after I lay all this out, just let me know. I know I put it on some of these, but I can also fill it in some of these spots. It's really fun to use. That's as far as I got on most of that. So like it doesn't have to be specifically the glue that's made for this foiling. The Zig 2A is perfect. Any glue that dries tacky. This one, Tombow Mono something, has one, comes like in a like a triangle-ish almost kind of bottle, tubey bottle. Trying to think of what other brand makes it. But they do always have them. You'll see like the Mona Lisa brand with the actual gold foil, gold flakes and gold sheets. Like I couldn't tell you exactly what got my brain to finally just say, just use it. I think it was mostly when I started noticing a lot of my supplies either got dried and it was just a big waste of money, because if I let them sit there and they're just dried up, I'm not going to enjoy them now, right? So I say just try it, see what happens. Okay. And then to take these off, we're gonna grab a brush. It's easier to get them off with the brush after. The gold foil versus actual gold leafing, that's what the word I was looking for. is gold leafing is a bit more delicate. I will tell you that. Make sure you don't have fans on. I mean, even with gold foiling, you don't want to have a fan near you or anything like that because it will blow away really easily. Um, but I do notice that the gold foiling is just a little bit tougher to get off once it's done, like to brush it away, where gold leafing is a lot thinner, which is really hard to tell, but it is pretty uh, thin. Where is it located to buy the last May retreat? I'll post it up in a second. Give me a second. I'll give you a link right now. Trying to find the brush I just saw. But now that I have so much more stuff on my desk, it's hard to see. Oh, there it is. And don't throw away this stuff that you flake off. Put it in a little jar and more, use it another time. It'll roll up into like little bits, but see it's grabbing on the parts where I had added glue on this one paper. Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so let me show you what happened. Right here, you see how it looks like it's burned? The acetone, and there must have been some Beacon 3-in-1 that wasn't dry yet, but the acetone in the Beacon is basically tarnishing that gold leafing right there. So if you want some cool effects with gold leafing, that also don't use that if you don't want that happening. I was like, what's going on? Why is it turning brown? Oh, because I didn't remember putting sticky there, but I felt it. But yeah, I can see where it grabs some of the different places right here where it grabs some of that other glue is under there. And right here, it's burning a little. And you can get foils like in all kinds of different colors, which makes it really, really fun. If you want to use foils. And if you don't want to spend money like on actual gold leafing, sometimes it's not too bad because you get a ton of sheets. I will tell you that when you buy like a pack from Michael's or something like that. But definitely go for gold foils or colored foils. They're just fun to play with. Need a few more sheets over here. I'm just rubbing it in to make sure it's grabbing it really good. So that's the only other thing too, is if you are going to seal this, you want to make sure it doesn't have like an acetone seal to it or anything like that. Most of them don't. If you're going to get a sealer, I would say get it in the art section. Most of those are going to be nicely made for different types of art mediums. If you're not sure, just an acrylic sealer works. I like using matte so it doesn't change anything, but just know if you put matte on the gold foil flakes, it's gonna make them look, they're not gonna be shiny anymore. So for my flowers, I might have to paint on a sealer instead. And I might not put anything on it at all since it's really just going to go in a book. And they're holding pretty good. I mean, I'm rubbing my hand over them and they're pretty solid on there. I know I put it on some of these corners. Okay. Trying to feel where I put everything. Like, I've had this bottle for so long and look, it still doesn't look like I've used any of it because it's such a dense amount of sheets in there. Every time I take out more, they just bounce up. I've had this bottle for years. They don't normally come in a bottle like that. I'm not sure what it's in a bottle. Just Heidi Swap wanted to do things different. Yeah, see, look, I just pulled what I thought was one sheet, and there's all these sheets are coming off of it. Okay, I felt tacky here. That's why, though, even if you have just the tiniest bit of a tackiness somewhere, these leaf sheets are so thin that they'll grab right on. It's really fun to finish edges of books and things like that. Edges of your papers with. Oh, that's right, I put it all over that. Okay. Trying to feel for anywhere else I can feel that tackiness. Alright, let's brush the rest of this out and in. And this is just like a little nylon brush that I'm doing this one with. They do make brushes for it, but it's really, you want it to be hard enough to brush away stuff, but it also helps to push it in where you need to push it in. This usually ends up being a pretty good weight for that. And I'm just kind of getting there and shoving it away at the same time. I think what I'm going to do is the, oh, there's some on my desk now. I'm going to mix it in with those flowers. Get away all these paper scraps. Those will go in their own jar altogether. The static will also make it go everywhere, so be careful with that. The other day I put some of the flower things up towards my screen, and my screen ended up filled with flowers from static. And it'll definitely do it with this gold. You can see it's just kind of like all sparkly on my hand right now. I'm sure I'm going to run into other places that it'll come off a little bit. For the most part, it's pretty stuck on there. I made a really cool little pattern over here. And just delicately on the edges. You can see now. Where it's kind of just lining things. Looking kind of cool. I like the way the edge just kind of slightly gilded over here. And how it reacted and corroded a little. There's little bits of black in here. And then here, that's all where the Beacon 3-in-1 acetone base glue kind of got it to stay. Alright, and then after that, usually what I'll do is I'll just go in here, like if I see something that I want to kind of highlight or add a little black pen, or just to like draw around, I'll go in there and just add a few things. I like making it look like stitching, so I'll go back and forth and make it look like a stitching. These little paper bits reminded me of cobblestones. So I'm just getting a little bit of definition around them. And I'm thinking, that's not it. Okay, purpley, there you are. Get in here with my brush. Let's get in here with some vintage photo. Tone them down a little. I'm just changing the tone of some of these papers just to get them a little darker. Alright, this is Rusty Hinge. Like, I particularly have a thing about having like a little white edge. I just always like to blend it in. Nothing wrong with the white edge at all. There's sometimes that I'll purposely do it, but for this one, I don't really want it to have that super white edge. When you blend in some colors and things like that, or get the edges of something, it helps not only separate it, but kind of make it all a little bit more cohesive, so it doesn't look like a big Mod Podge of, I don't want to say, it keeps it from separating so much and looking like bits and pieces, and kind of brings it all together, but at the same time defining what's in there. And it's going to help tone down some of these super bright colors that end up in here that I like, because I usually like bright colors, but I want to bring it into a little bit more of a fall tone. So I'm muting out some of the parts by adding this Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide ink. Especially cutouts like this. I want them to look like they're kind of like melded in there. right. Remember, some of this had the gesso on it, and that's why the colors are a little bit different where the gesso is. We have the what am I thinking of? The tissue paper over our flowers right here. And so this is grabbing onto some of the little bunches on the tissue paper and the wrinkles and stuff. All right, and finish off a couple of parts in here with some sprays. There's like a lot of just white parcels. So this has like a blue-green tone to it. And it's just filling in anything left that's white that it can. So a lot of stuff is going to start moving and changing. I can still get any of this guy out. This one was gilded. It's another gold spray. Unfortunately, this one doesn't exist anymore. It's from Brutus Monroe. They had some really cool metal sprays. This is a really, really pretty gold. They also have like a rust and a bronzed version. This one's really clogged. This was one of their first formulas, so I think they would clog a lot at first. So I'm just getting in there and sprinkling on what's left. Of course, you would like let this, thank you very much. You would let it dry in between and come back and revisit it if you wanted to. I'm not big on patience when it comes to this, or a lot of things. So I'm gonna let it dry as much as possible. But my desk could be a disaster, so after this I'm gonna have to do a giant cleanup in a second. But you can go in there and stamp details in between. There's this really pretty dragonfly that I want to use on it, so I might have to wait. But you can see at first it looked like a giant hot mess, and don't lie, you thought so. But it slowly starts to come together. So think, every time I first see it, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna think a kindergartner is teaching them, and then I get happy with the results sometimes, not all the time. But if you slowly just keep building until you like it, and don't be afraid, like if something didn't work out, just cover it up and do something else. Here we go, that's super pretty. I'm loving that dragonfly in there. Oh yeah, the other stamps I had gotten. Luckily I haven't gotten anything in my coffee, but I haven't touched my coffee yet. I forgot about it. That was yummy. I bought these stamps that I had gotten out in the first place. These are by Diane, I always say her name wrong. Please somebody say her name better. Revelese. Diane Reveille. Dilution stamps. And this is called Heads and Tails because it's heads and tails. So like you have the fox head and there's its tail. You have a deer in its tail, the rabbit in its tail, and an owl in its tail, or a feather at least on that one. That one's a little bit different, but it's really cool because it's got like little typeface things inside of it. So it's really fun. So let's see. Let's get a couple of these stamps in there. Okay. So this is the owl. Oh yeah, he looks really good over all that mess. See him in there? It's gonna be really hard for it to focus because of all this stuff. There you go. You see him through all of that pretty color and everything. What's she doing? Okay. She does remember she has a laptop, right? The last time she had her meeting, I thought that was funny. Oh, I know. The last time he was in there, I was over here. And I'm like, does she remember she has a laptop? Yeah, no, I'm almost done. All right, you can see again. That's just like it's a feather that came in with the owl instead of an actual tail. I'm almost done. There you go. And you can see right here, it's still a little wet, so the edges are bleeding out just a little bit. This ink, I will tell you, it's really cool. And this one, that they still do carry it. It's Detail Ink by Brutus Monroe. I know he had it off the site for a little bit because he was redoing packaging and all of that. So I don't know what the packaging looks like now, or if it's the same one or not. But definitely go check it out. It's really, really, really good ink. And it dries permanent. It's good for coloring with alcohol markers and everything with. That's why it's stopping the bleeding like really fast, because it dries so fast, but it will bleed if you're putting it on something wet. But it's perfect for putting on something wet because it'll stop almost immediately. So I'm getting very minimal bleed, and this is really wet. But it's stamping over the wet. I'm also squishing it hard. But how cool does that look? So just think of all the different types of stamps that you could use on it. I have such a mess up here. I love getting stitch stamps. Those are always fun. Like this one's like a round circle stitch stamp. So like if you want to focus on something, they're just stitches. I could not tell you where I got this though. Just look for a stitch stamp on Amazon. I'm sure you'll find one. But it's all these different little sew stitches in circles, and I gotta find my other ones, another leaf somewhere. I'm really bad about putting things back, you guys. I'm not gonna lie here. My stuff ends up everywhere. All right, and let's do, love this one, okay. This stamp says your story matters, and it's just little type font. I think I'm gonna put it right here. So you never know like what something's gonna be used for. So like this purple one's been bugging me because it was just like out of place and by itself. But now I put on Your Story Matters. Now it looks really good. So yeah. Oh, what was that? But I think that concludes for the day. So you see, we started off with nothing, and now we have a giant mess. You guys can't see the rest, but there's like even more over here. And I think it was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys got some ideas. So you are going to get prompts that will prompt you to use your Masterboard. So this is just like your beginning off point. It tells you what you can use with the Masterboard for in the prompt. And I'll be adding a little bit more. If you post your Masterboard, if it's like, again, if it's okay to post it, just let me know. And let me get, I know I said I was going to get Amy the link. Let me grab that real quick. Hold on. Amy, I will, or you guys, I will get the link and I'll put it up in the, I think I have it up in the group, but I'll send it to you directly, Amy. It's just that I have so many windows open right now. It's going to be hard for me to get to it for a second. But yeah, so I hope everybody enjoyed that. And if you guys have any questions or anything otherwise, let me know. Post up your creations. We want to see what you did. And then, like I said, Christy was doing a Masterboard on her live today as well. So as far as I know, so she did end up doing it after all. I will definitely post up what Christy created as well in her replay of her video, so you can watch another Masterboard being made. And then again, like I said, I'll post the link for to get the other ticket from the other event if you want to, and that'll include the link to get the other challenge. Or if you want to just get the other challenge by itself, you can always join the other challenge as well, and you'll get double the information. Like I said, there's only a few prompts that are going to be the same or similar to the other ones, and then the rest will be different. There's just a few things like a Masterboard that are a good base, that are good every time we do a challenge, so that might be the ones that you're going to get repeated. Other than that, you're going to get a bunch of new stuff, really fun stuff. And like I said, since this one's all autumn, we went for autumn in this one. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll take a really good picture. The recording will be of, the only thing is you won't see on the recording is going to be some of the stuff that was done earlier by Cheryl, because unfortunately it was only recording on my screen. So I apologize for that. I'm going to report everything to Telegram and see what's going on with why we're getting that weirdness. And I know not everybody was getting it, but a lot of people were getting that weird haze. But the recording shouldn't have it in there. All right. So I will see you guys later. Have fun with the prompts. There is not a live tomorrow, as far as I know, unless someone last minute asks me to do one. But there will be videos and links to things for tomorrow's prompt. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.